Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 most horrifying and painful demises in Stranger Things. There will be spoilers. Number 20. Bruce Lowe is taken down. It's no exaggeration to say that Bruce Lowe was unbearable right from the moment he appeared on screen. He was that awful coworker, constantly mocking and belittling Nancy.
I think I've got something even spicier. It's about the missing mustard on my hamburger. You think you can follow the clues and solve the case of the missing condiment, Nancy Drew?
You'd think that would be him at his worst, but nope. Once the Mind Flayer takes over, he becomes more terrifying, stalking Jonathan and Nancy through the hospital like a living nightmare. He nearly kills Jonathan, but Nancy steps in and stabs him with a pair of scissors. But even that doesn't stop him. Bruce keeps coming, relentless and grotesque. So Nancy does what she must. She outsmarts him, ambushes him, and crushes his skull with a fire extinguisher. Brutal, yes, but if anyone deserves such a gruesome fate, it's hateful Bruce. Number 19. Dr. Zotkov gets fried. Whatever you do, don't mess with the Hawkins gang. Dr. Zotkov did, and paid for it with his life. As a scientist working under Commander Ozerov, this man seemingly took pleasure in torturing his victims.
Wait a sec, hold on. Okay, wait, what is that thing?
It will help you talk.
He tormented Robin and Steve for what felt like forever, and even tried to rip out Steve's fingernails. There's no telling how far he would have gone had Dustin and Erica not staged a perfectly timed distraction. When Ozerov stepped in to check the commotion, Zarkov was left all alone, and that's when Dustin struck. One charge, one jolt, game over.
Hey, Anderson, that's crazy. I was just talking about you.
The suddenness of it all makes his death so shocking and brutal. Zarkov never saw it coming. Honestly, considering the suffering he inflicted, his ending felt merciful. Number 18. Hopper and Eleven take out Wolfpack. In Season 5, Eleven finds herself hunted by a ruthless paramilitary faction of the US military known as Wolfpack. When she enters the Upside Down to track down Holly, she discovers the unit hot on her trail.
No? You okay? What's wrong? You alright?
This time they've brought a secret weapon, a machine that weakens her powers, her own kryptonite. The moment its shockwaves hit her, Eleven collapses, screaming, completely drained. Hopper protects his daughter by obliterating the soldiers with grenades. With one attacker remaining and the device disabled, Eleven flings him aside with terrifying ease. But her true brutality shows later, when she infiltrates the military base and snaps the neck of a lookout guard. Honestly, they all had it coming.
Sorry.
Number 17. Eddie is killed by Demobats. Eddie's death wasn't just sad, it was gut-churning. After he and Dustin successfully lured the Demobats to the Munson trailer, they thought they'd bought themselves time.
Let's go!
But they were wrong. The creatures forced their way in, and chaos followed soon. To protect Dustin, Eddie made a brave choice. Jumping back on his bike, he drew the swarm away until they knocked him down. But this time, Eddie didn't run. Boldly, he fought a sky full of Demobats with everything he had. While he took out many, there was no beating that vicious horde. They eventually pinned him to the ground, tore into his skin, and left him bleeding.
And it's finally my year. I love you, Dad.
For a character so misunderstood, it was a horribly sad way to go. Number 16. Jason Carver gets ripped apart. How awful can one person be? Jason Carver was the classical self-appointed hero who took things too far. Convinced that Eddie was responsible for Chrissy's death, he became obsessed and his rage led him to the Creel house.
You're wrong about Eddie.
No. But I was wrong about you. I never should have let you in the door.
And I never should have knocked.
That is where he crossed the ultimate line. Finding Max in a trance, he started a fight with Lucas and squashed Max's headphones, leaving her defenseless. Lucas eventually knocked him out, but by then, the damage was already done. Max's heart had stopped, Vecna's plan was completed, and the final gate had torn open with a violent surge. As Jason regained consciousness, the ground split beneath him, ripping straight through his midsection. He never got the heroic death he would have preferred, just a quick, horrid one. Number 15, The Man in the Cave. Let's not forget, before Vecna became a monster, he was once human. He was even a little boy, and that's what makes this scene so horrifying. After stumbling into Vecna's traumatic past, we're thrown into one of the show's most disturbing moments. Inside a cave, an injured man watches young Henry approach, eager to help him.
Henry Creel. I live near here.
Who sent you?
Nobody sent me. I was in the caves. I heard a scream.
Instead of remaining calm, the paranoid man shoots the boy. What happens next is shocking. Left with no other choice, Henry disarms the man and brutally smashes his face with a stone. It's just too much to watch, especially knowing how young Henry is, and that he was pushed to act out of self-defense. Perhaps this is the exact moment something inside him finally snaps.
It will consume you. It will consume all.
Number 14, Agent Shepard's encounter with the monster. Horror sure loves its sacrificial lamb characters, the ones who stumble into something terrifying long before anyone else realizes what's happening. In Stranger Things, Agent Shepard fits that role perfectly.
You boys hear me all right there?
Loud and clear, Shepard.
Good luck in there, son.
Sent to explore the Upside Down, he steps through a gate in the lab and soon stumbles into something that leaves him terrified. Panicking, he radios his colleagues, begging to be pulled back, but rescue comes too late. His cord starts whipping violently in every direction while the monster screeches.
There's something else in here! Pull me out! Pull me out! Pull me out! Pull me out! Pull me out!
When the team finally reels it in, all they recover is a bloodied line with no trace of Shepard. We don't need to see what happened to know his death was grim. With the monsters of the Upside Down, it always is. Number 13, Wolfpack vs. Demogorgons and Vecna. In Season 5, things get even more intense as Vecna advances his plan to reshape the world. Out of ignorance or just plain foolishness, the Wolfpack makes itself easy targets by keeping the Hawkins kids locked in their military basement.
These kids, they are not safe, okay? They are in danger.
And why exactly do you think they're here, ma'am? They're under our protection.
It doesn't take long for everything to fall apart. Demogorgons burst in from the Upside Down, tearing through soldiers with zero hesitation. They fling, slash, snap, and slaughter anyone in their path. Fast, relentless, deadly, and completely unstoppable. It's all bloody chaos until a flamethrower briefly holds them off. But this proves useless when Vecna enters, squeezing the life out of those who dare stand against him.
Can you see them, William?
Yeah, you do not mess with Vecna or his army, especially if you have no superpowers. Number 12, Alexei gets shot. It's a common trend for Stranger Things to introduce side characters, make us love them, and then rip them away. Alexei is one of the clearest examples of this heartbreaking pattern.
Но это все жульничество, друг. Чтобы вытянуть из тебя деньги в карман богача, это, дорогой друг, и есть Америка. Но ты давай, валяй, развлекайся.
Unlike most Russian characters, he wasn't cruel or cold. Instead, he had this childlike charm that made him endearing and relatable. Yet, despite being sweet and helpful to Hopper and Joyce, his fate was sealed the moment Grigori tracked him down. In one of the show's most heartbreaking moments, the ruthless Russian enforcer shoots Alexei at the fair, killing him just as he was finally starting to enjoy life.
Предатель.
Honestly, his death is gut-wrenching and so unfair. A good man taken out by the very system that terrorized him for years. Number 11, Chrissy's devastating end. With Chrissy's death, Stranger Things gives us a chilling first-hand look at how powerful and vicious Vecna truly is. What makes her death so unforgettable is how it unfolds.
Mom? Just loosening this up for you, sweetheart. You're going to look
Absolutely beautiful.
First, Vecna targets her mind, trapping her in a hallucination where she relives her worst fears and insecurities. The poor girl feels completely isolated in this mental nightmare, which is exactly how Vecna feeds on his victim's trauma. As if that isn't horrible enough, in her final moments, she's left in a catatonic state with Eddie being unable to wake her.
Wake up, Chrissy! Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this, Chrissy, wake up!
Then comes that unnerving scene where she's suspended in air, her body twisted and broken. Not many deaths have been as creepy and heartbreaking at the same time. Number 10. Grigori gets what he deserves.
1, 2.
By the end of season 3, Grigori was one of the most hated characters in Stranger Things history. Not only did this assassin eliminate fan favorite Alexei, but the criminal tried to end the lives of beloved mainstays like Hopper and Joyce. Grigori's bloody history made his violent demise extremely satisfying. While Hopper and Joyce were working to stop the Mind Flayer, the assassin attacked. Although he initially had the upper hand, Hopper throws Grigori into a rolling machine with an awesome one-liner.
I'll see you in hell!
It's hard to tell whether the crushing impact or the big device's electrical energy was his undoing. However, we are positive that it was the painful end Grigori had coming. Number 9. 11 eliminates Connie Fraser and her agents.
Connie Fraser, Social Services.
Social services. My apologies. I didn't expect you so soon. It's a heck of a drive.
Not too bad this time of night.
Yeah.
Agent Connie Fraser was willing to do anything to lock 11 into a lab again. She schemed, lied, and slayed innocent people who dared to help the young psychic. But Fraser pushed her luck too far when she and a few members of her crew threatened 11's friends.
Guys! What is it? They found us.
In an instant, the agent and her associates found themselves frozen in place. It wasn't long before blood started to appear on their faces. Although we can't see it in detail, it looks like 11 directly attacked all their brains at once. It's easy to understand why the young psychic was so tired after this attack. Taking out Fraser and the other evil agents with such a brutal technique must have been exhausting.
Something's wrong. She's just drained. No, she won't wake up. Elle!
Number 8. Grigori breaks a brainy scientist. After a group of Russian scientists were asked to build a way to access the Upside Down, they did a full test in front of a high-ranking general. Eventually, the machine backfired and painfully claimed the lives of multiple bystanders. But their quick demises looked merciful when compared to what happened to another witness. A frustrated Russian general ordered Grigori to choke the life out of one of the scientists to discourage another failure.
Мы уже так близко. Вы же видите наш прогресс. Нам просто...
Unfortunately for the victim, his death is slow and agonizing. Watching this terrible execution gave the scientist's colleague Alexei plenty of incentive to make sure the next machine test was successful.
Даю тебе еще год.
Так точно, товарищ генерал.
Number 7. Jonathan cuts Tom down to size.
Which brings me to my 6th and final fact. You're fired. Both of you.
At first, editor-in-chief Tom Holloway was just a bad boss to Jonathan and Nancy. But the journalist became a violent threat to the duo after he got possessed by the sinister Mind Flayer.
She's gone home.
We were hoping you might come back.
After savagely attacking Jonathan, Tom attempted to land the final blow with a pair of scissors. Fortunately, the editor was stopped in his tracks when he psychically felt the force of Nancy's fire extinguisher attack.
Hargrove!
Jonathan took advantage of the distraction by using the metal scissors to end the editor in a way that's too graphic to show here. But the hero did not have to look at the gruesome aftermath for long. Tom's deceased body quickly became a part of a disgusting monster that tried to cause more graphic deaths. Number 6. Henry Creel executes lab staff and residents.
And everyone here is a prisoner, not just you. Not just your brothers and sisters, but the guards, too. tooth.
Upon learning that Henry Creel was a very sadistic psychic, scientists decided to implant a chip inside of his body that prevented him from using his abilities. But once it was removed, he demonstrated how twisted he truly was.
No. You don't have to be afraid of them, 11. Not anymore.
Creel broke bones and eliminated opponents without a care in the world. His go-to method of ending his enemies involved targeting their eyes while forcing their bodies to move in unnatural ways. While the way Creel killed people was brutal on its own, what makes it even worse is the fact that the majority of his victims were innocent. We're glad 11 stopped him from taking any more lives for a very long time. Number 5. The Demogorgon demolishes prisoners.
You know, what we are to attempt is quite mad. Even by your standards, American.
An unlucky group of Russian prisoners that included Hopper and his ally Enzo found themselves face to face with a vicious Demogorgon. Although they had time to get weapons beforehand, most of them still did not stand a chance. The Demogorgon's sharp claws and tremendous strength allowed it to slash and throw its targets with absolute ease. If they survived its initial attack, it would chow down on the survivors with its extremely sharp teeth, while nearby guards observed the carnage. The only reason Hopper and Enzo got out alive was because of a little fire.
Running out of time here!
Without that flame, the Demogorgon would have made sure they perished in a needlessly cruel way.
For a second, I thought we had you, medical.
Number 4. Vecna gets beheaded. Henry Creel has delivered some of the most brutal deaths in Stranger Things. Little did he know his own would be just as vicious. After taking down Vecna and the Mind Flayer, the Hawkins crew makes their way to his lair to rescue the trapped kids. Soon, all attention turns to the once almighty Vecna, coughing up blood and barely clinging to life.
With the wrong family.
You'd think they'd let him die slowly, but Joyce refuses to grant him that mercy. As the group reflects on everyone Vecna has taken from them, Joyce ends it decisively, hacking his head clean off. While Vecna deserved every second of it, we couldn't help but feel a flicker of sympathy for little Henry, the boy who lost his humanity in that cave. Number 3. The Demo Dogs catch up to Bob.
How you holding up there, Bob? You all right?
Yeah.
You got a pretty clear shot to the front door.
Fans knew Bob was a hero when he put his life on the line to save his friends while there were a bunch of demo dogs on the prowl. He barely managed to escape the creatures multiple times throughout his journey. Just when it seemed like Bob was home free, a demo dog came out of nowhere and pounced on the heroic man. It was painful to see the creature cut and bite into him with such ferocity. The demo dog added insult to injury by inviting a few of its brethren to attack the dying man too. Bob was an extremely gentle soul that didn't deserve such an upsetting demise. Unfortunately, he was doomed as soon as that first demo dog jumped.
We can't let him die in vain.
Well, what do you want to do, Mike? Right, the chief's right on this. We can't stop those demo dogs on our own.
Number 2. Billy is slain by the Mind Flayer. During most of Season 3's climactic battle, Billy was possessed by the Mind Flayer, but 11 was able to help him regain control of his actions by reminding him about his old life.
She was really pretty. And you were happy.
After breaking free, he puts his body on the line to protect 11. Unfortunately, the Mind Flayer uses its sharp tentacles to wound Billy. He has to endure being pierced by 5 more appendages before the creature inflicts one final blow to his chest. And despite losing a lot of blood, Billy still bears the agony of all his wounds to spend a few final moments with his sister.
Billy, wake up. Billy, get up. Billy.
The tremendous amount of suffering he endured makes this sacrifice tough to rewatch.
Max, what you've been through
what you're still going through. It's a lot for anyone.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. What Vecna does to his victims.
I want you to join me.
Sometime after Henry Creel became Vecna, he came up with a truly bone-chilling way of executing his targets. First, he forces his victims to see visions of their past traumas. Then, Vecna waits until they get completely lost in their worst memories. Once his victims are fully trapped in their grim visions, he moves in for the final kill. Vecna's targets have all ended up with broken bones and missing eyes. While the method is identical to what Creel used to do, it's much worse because of the amount of psychological torment the victim endures. By combining mental and physical harm into one sickening package, Vecna has devised the most brutal way to die on Stranger Things.
Don't cry, Chrissy. It's time for your suffering to end.
Which character's death was the most horrific? Let us know in the comments.